I was with someone recently and they began to tell me how they went to a specialist. They went to see a doctor for a medical condition. And they were talking to me about this particular specialist who was a dermatologist. And they began to describe to me how this individual is one of the leading doctors in not only in our city, but really in the nation. And they began to use adjectives like how brilliant the person was, that they've studied and experienced so many aspects of dermatology in the skin that basically even when the doctor is described by others, they are off the charts when it comes to their knowledge and their competence. And yet they said, when the doctor came in, he was dressed very casually, kind of sat back a little bit, crossed his legs, began to talk to me and made me feel so at ease. I couldn't actually believe that a doctor of this caliber was communicating that way with me. And so what do we call that? We call that a great bedside manner. But, the person went on to say that there was no air about them. There was no pretense, there was no arrogance. And I began to think about that from the perspective of leadership, because there is a tension. There is a tension between self-confidence and cockiness. And so we know leaders that are both confident and sometimes they can be very arrogant. I don't think anybody appreciates an arrogant leader that is full of themselves and makes sure that they tell you what they know, or they're looking down at you. Nobody appreciates that. However, there is something incredibly endearing, something incredibly powerful when you have leaders like that doctor. Doctors are leaders that are obviously very knowledgeable. They have incredible experience. In this case, he was described as being brilliant and was able to diagnose and help so many people. And yet, in the way they presented themselves and the way they made this person, the patient, feel so comfortable, so at ease, was absolutely a breath of fresh air. Hey, my friends, as leaders, there is a tension. We need to be confident. I mean, people want to follow leaders that are confident. Nobody wants to follow a leader that's insecure and doesn't know where they're going. But there's this line, that tension where confidence becomes cockiness, where it crosses over and now all of a sudden it's not appreciated. It's a little bit stinky. And people go like, wow, you know what? They're really brilliant. They're really smart, but boy, are they ever full of themselves. And so I really want to encourage you. I want to challenge you because I'm sure as leaders, you have come to a place where you have knowledge, you have capacity, you have experience, you know what you're doing, you know what you're talking about. But if you can somehow package that in a way that presents you as being humble and being caring, I am telling you, not only will you attract people, but you will have a great impact and you will leave a lasting impression on those that you deal with.